In the bustling streets of Los Angeles, where the sun kissed the palm trees and the air hummed with the rhythm of dreams chasing reality, Josephine Sanchez moved like a shadow woven into the city's fabric. Her skin a rich ebony that glowed under the California light, told stories of resilience passed down from her Mexican roots, blended with the unyielding spirit of a Black woman who had risen from the gritty neighborhoods of South LA. She stood behind her modest taco stand, her hands deftly folding warm tortillas around sizzling carne asada, the aroma mingling with the salty breeze from the nearby Pacific. To the world, she was just Josie the street vendor, with a smile that could melt the hardest hearts and eyes that sparkled like stars hidden in the night sky. But beneath that simple facade lay a secret as profound as the ocean's depths. She was the wife of Alexander King, the enigmatic white billionaire whose empire spanned the skyscrapers of New York. With his chiseled features, piercing blue eyes, and hair the color of sunlit wheat, Alexander was the epitome of old money elegance. Born into a lineage of Wall Street titans, he had built King Enterprises into a tech conglomerate that revolutionized data security across America. Yet in Josephine, he found his anchor a love that transcended race and class divides. Their marriage had been a whirlwind of passion, sealed in a private ceremony on a secluded Malibu beach, away from the prying eyes of the media. Alexander had insisted on secrecy, fearing the scandal that could erupt from their interracial union in his conservative family's circles. "Let me protect you, my love," he had whispered, his voice a velvet caress against her ear, "until the world is ready to see our truth." As the city awakened to the symphony of honking cars and distant waves. This morning, Josephine's phone buzzed with Alexander's call. His voice, deep and resonant, carried the weight of urgency. "Darling, Grandma Eleanor's taken a turn. I must fly to her estate in the Hamptons immediately. But King Enterprises needs a steady hand while I'm gone. Will you step in, my queen? Pretend to be the new intern, observe, learn their loyalties. No one knows your face yet. Use that to our advantage." Josephine's heart fluttered at his words, a mix of trepidation and excitement. She loved the thrill of anonymity, allowing her to navigate worlds that would otherwise judge her for her skin or origins. "For you, Alex, I'd walk through fire," she replied, her tone laced with the sultry warmth that always made him pause, envisioning her lips curving into that irresistible smile. With a quick kiss to the air, she hung up, packed away her stand, and boarded a private jet to New York, her mind racing with possibilities. The towering glass facade of King Enterprises in Manhattan gleamed like a beacon of power, reflecting the city's chaotic energy below. Josephine stepped into the lobby, her simple blouse and jeans starkly contrasting the tailored suits bustling around her. She carried a scarf, a custom piece from a Brooklyn artisan, infused with the sense of her LA life as a token of her true self. But fate, that capricious dancer, had other plans. As she navigated the crowded elevator, a hurried woman bumped into her, their scarves tangling in a momentary chaos. "Oh, excuse me," Josephine said softly, her voice a melodic blend of confidence and grace. The woman, Sarah Thompson, a sharp-featured blonde with ambitions as tall as the Empire State Building, snatched the wrong scarf, mistaking Josephine's artisan piece for a rag. Sarah's eyes, cold and calculating, scanned Josephine with thinly veiled disdain. "Watch where you're going, girl. This is Hermes. Can you even afford to replace it?" Her words dripped with the subtle racism that lurked in corporate corridors, assuming Josephine's dark skin marked her as lesser. Josephine bit back a retort, her mind flashing to Alexander's plea for discretion. Instead, she offered her own scarf. "Here, use this. It's custom-made from a small shop in Brooklyn." Sarah accepted it with a smirk, striding away, as if she owned the world, while Josephine proceeded to the HR desk, signing in as the new intern. Whispers followed her through the halls. Vivian Clark, a gossipy redhead with a penchant for office politics, leaned toward her colleagues. Look at her, probably from some inner-city program. Doesn't she know this is Wall Street, not Watts? Sylvia Woods, another accomplice in the clique, nodded her laughter a sharp note in the air. They saw only the surface. A black woman in modest attire, not the poised partner of their CEO. As Josephine settled at a desk piled with menial tasks, Sarah entered like a queen, flaunting the borrowed scarf. The office was excited. The rumor mill had spun tales of the CEO's mysterious wife arriving today. "Good morning, Madam Vivian," cooed, mistaking Sarah for the elusive Mrs. King. Ever the opportunist, Sarah played along, her eyes gleaming with greed. "Yes, that's me. Lead the way to my desk." Josephine watched from the shadows, a quiet storm brewing in her chest. The irony was poetic here. She was the true heart of Alexander's world, reduced to fetching coffee, while a pretender basked in borrowed glory. But in her heart, she felt the pull of their love, a bond forged in stolen moments under LA stars and New York lights. Alexander texted her, "My passion endure for us. Your strength is my inspiration." His words wrapped around her, like a warm embrace fueling her resolve. The day unfolded in a tapestry of slights and secrets. Sarah demanded Josephine clean her desk, tossing papers with contempt. "You're the intern. Make yourself useful." Josephine complied with grace, her fingers tracing the edges of documents that held the keys to the empire she co-owned in spirit. As evening fell, casting golden hues over the Hudson River, Josephine slipped away to a quiet corner, calling Alexander. "They're blind to who I am, darling, but soon they'll see." In that moment, the city lights twinkled like promises, and Josephine's heart swelled with the romance of their hidden life, a love story written in the stars waiting to unfold. Little did she know this misunderstanding was merely the prelude to a symphony of revelations, where her true power would shine brighter than any Manhattan skyline. The tension built as Sarah's charade deepened. During a team meeting, she barked orders, her voice echoing the entitlement of someone who had never truly earned it. While tasked with note-taking, Josephine observed the subtle discriminations, colleagues praising Sarah's elegant ideas while dismissing her suggestions with patronizing smiles. "That's cute, Josie, but let's hear from the real experts." Sylvia quipped, her words a veiled jab at Josephine's background. Yet amidst the barbs, Josephine found solace in memories of Alexander. Their first meeting flashed in her mind, a chance encounter at an art gallery in Soho, where her street murals had caught his eye. "Your work speaks of souls unchained," he had said, his blue eyes locking with her brown ones, igniting a spark that defied societal norms. Their love was a rebellion, a testament to unity in a divided world. As the part drew close, Josephine uncovered a minor embezzlement scheme in the files she cleaned. Sarah, oblivious, celebrated her false status with champagne in the executive lounge. Josephine smiled inwardly, her plan taking shape. The mysterious beginning had set the stage, and the curtain was about to rise on her triumphant reveal. The corridors of King Enterprises pulsed with the undercurrent of ambition, a labyrinth where alliances formed and shattered like fragile glass under the weight of corporate intrigue. Now entrenched in her role as the overlooked intern, Josephine Sanchez navigated this world with the poise of a panther in the shadows. Her dark curls framed a face that held secrets deeper than the Atlantic, her eyes reflecting the fire of a woman who had clawed her way from LA's vibrant but unforgiving streets to the pinnacle of love with Alexander King. Their interracial bond, a beautiful mosaic of contrasts, fueled her every step, reminding her that true power lay not in visibility, but in the quiet accumulation of knowledge. Sarah Thompson's impersonation had taken root like ivy on ancient walls, choking the truth with her vines of deceit. Emboldened by the office's adulation, she paraded through the floors, her borrowed scarf symbolizing her ill-gotten throne. Vivian Sylvia ensure the new girl knows her place. Sarah commanded, her tone laced with the condescension of someone who viewed Josephine's melanin as a mark of inferiority. The bullying escalated subtly at first, a whisper here, a sidelong glance there, but soon it blossomed into overt challenges that tested Josephine's resolve. One afternoon, the first significant conflict ignited as rain pattered against the windows overlooking Central Park Knighted. Sarah, rummaging through her desk, let out a theatrical gasp. "My ring. The antique sapphire from Tiffany's. It's gone." Her accusation flew like an arrow straight at Josephine. "You were cleaning here last. Admit it. You took it." The office froze, eyes turning to Josephine with suspicion and prejudice. Vivian chimed in. "It wouldn't surprise me. People like her are always eyeing what they can't have." Josephine's heart raced, not from fear, but from the sting of familiar injustice, the kind she had faced growing up in diverse, divided LA neighborhoods. Yet she stood tall, her voice steady and melodic. "I assure you, I haven't touched it." "Perhaps we should check the security footage." Sarah scoffed. "Footage? This is a test of character, and yours is lacking." The ring, valued at a realistic $10 million from a recent auction, was no mere trinket. It was a prop in Sarah's game. Unbeknownst to the others, Josephine had spotted the ring earlier, a clever fake, its craftsmanship betraying subtle flaws she recognized from her days appraising street art forgeries. Drawing on her artistic eye, honed in underground galleries, where Black creators thrived against odds, she proposed a challenge. If it's real, it should withstand a simple authenticity test. "Let's take it to the jeweler down the block." Sarah Cornered agreed, her confidence a fragile facade. The group marched to the Fifth Avenue jeweler, the air thick with tension. Josephine's mind wandered to Alexander as the expert examined it under magnification. He had gifted her a similar piece once, whispering, "This sapphire matches the depth of your eyes, my love, a symbol of our eternal bond." Their love was a sanctuary where his privilege met her perseverance, creating a harmony that defied the world's divisions. The verdict came swiftly. "This is a replica, madam. Fine work, but not the original." Sarah's face paled, her charade cracking like thin ice. "Impossible. Alexander bought it for me." But the office murmured, doubt seeding. Josephine, with graceful restraint, said, "Mistakes happen. Perhaps it was misplaced." Her refined and persuasive words sowed seeds of alliance among a few onlookers who began to see the quiet strength in her demeanor. The bullying didn't cease. It morphed. Sylvia and Vivian, loyal to Sarah's illusion, assigned Josephine grueling tasks, filing endless reports on cybersecurity protocols, a nod to King Enterprises' core business. "Please don't mess it up, intern," Vivian sneered. Her prejudice was evident in how she avoided eye contact. Josephine excelled, her quick mind efficiently dissecting complex algorithms, a skill born from self-taught nights in LA libraries. Enter James King, Alexander's younger brother, fresh from a European stint managing overseas branches. Tall and brooding, with the same blue eyes, but a wilder spirit, he burst into the office like a storm. Mistaking Sarah for his sister-in-law, based on whispers, he greeted her warmly. "You must be the one who captured my brother's heart. Welcome to the family." Sarah preened, but James's gaze lingered on Josephine, intrigued by her composed aura amid the chaos. A pivotal challenge arose during a team brainstorming session for a new app launch. Sarah proposed a half-baked idea, stealing concepts Josephine had casually mentioned. "Brilliant," Madam Sylvia applauded. When Josephine offered refinements drawing from her experiences with diverse user bases in multicultural LA, Sarah dismissed her. What would you know about innovation? Stick to the basics. The confrontation peaked when James, overhearing, intervened. Let's hear her out. Fresh perspectives drive progress. Josephine spoke eloquently, weaving a tapestry of inclusivity, ensuring the app catered to underserved communities, reflecting her journey as a Black Latina in tech. The room shifted subtle nods, acknowledging her insight. Sarah's jealousy flared, but Josephine's poise won the day. In private moments, Josephine confided in Alexander via encrypted calls. They're testing me, love, but your faith keeps me strong. His response tender and affirming. You're my muse, Josie, the woman who turns obstacles into art. Their romance, a blend of passion and partnership, infused her with renewed vigor. As the part culminated, Josephine discovered encrypted emails hinting at Sarah's deeper schemes, perhaps ties to a rival firm. With James's unwitting help, she began piecing the puzzle, her heart alight with the promise of justice. The first office conflict had forged her resolve, setting the stage for revelations that would echo through the halls of power, all underpinned by a love as timeless as the New York skyline at dusk. The glittering avenues of Manhattan whispered secrets of opulence, where the heartbeat of fashion pulsed through the veins of Fifth Avenue like a lover's fervent caress. Josephine Sanchez glided through this world of haute couture, with the elegance of a midnight orchid, blooming in unexpected places, her ebony skin, a canvas of quiet defiance against the pale uniformity of the elite boutiques. She had come here not as the hidden queen of Alexander King's heart, but as the unassuming intern, her role a delicate veil, shielding their profound love from the harsh glare of scrutiny. Alexander, her white knight in a world of tailored suits and inherited fortunes, had woven their romance with threads of secrecy, each moment stolen like a forbidden kiss under the Brooklyn Bridge. You are my symphony, Josie, he had murmured. In their last call, his voice a silken thread, binding her resolve. Play the notes only we can hear. The invitation to the Dior atelier arrived like a gilded summons, a prelude to the company's gala, where alliances were forged and illusions shattered. Emboldened by her stolen throne, Sarah Thompson had orchestrated the outing, her blonde ambition casting long shadows over the office clique. Darlings, let's indulge in something divine. Sarah purred to Vivian and Sylvia, her accomplices in this charade of superiority. They swept into the boutique, a sanctuary of silk and sequins, where mirrors reflected dreams unattainable to most. Josephine trailed behind her presence, a subtle undercurrent invited only as an afterthought, or perhaps as a foil to highlight Sarah's false radiance. The air was scented with lavender and luxury chandeliers, casting prisms of light that danced like fireflies on a summer eve. Sarah's eyes lit upon a rack of couture gowns, each a masterpiece tailored for the whispers of high society. This one, she declared, selecting a shimmering emerald dress that evoked the lush hills of upstate New York, its hem adorned with crystals that caught the light like captured stars. It's perfect for the gala. Alexander would adore it on me. Her words were a calculated barb aimed at the invisible bond Josephine shared with her husband. However, Sarah knew nothing of the nights Alexander traced Josephine's curves with reverent fingers, declaring her his eternal muse. As Sarah slipped into the fitting room, Josephine wandered the displays, her fingers brushing fabrics that spoke of far-off ateliers in Paris. Memories flooded her, Alexander gifting her a similar gown during a clandestine weekend in the Catskills, where they had danced under moonlight, his pale hands contrasting beautifully against her dark skin, a visual poem of their unity. In you I see the future we build together, he had said, his blue eyes holding promises deeper than any ocean. Their love was a bridge across divides, a testament to the power of hearts entwined beyond societal chains. Emerging from the room, Sarah twirled the dress, hugging her form with reluctant grace. But as the zipper caught a flaw in her facade, emerged the garment designed for precision, refused to yield to her slightly altered measurements. It must be the tailoring. Sarah huffed her cheeks, flushing with the first hints of vulnerability. The sales associate, a poised woman named Elise, with an accent as refined as aged wine, offered polite suggestions. Madame, perhaps another size. These are bespoke for our VIP clients. Josephine observed from a velvet chaise, her keen eye noting the mismatch. Sarah's insistence grew frantic, her commands laced with the entitlement of one who had never faced denial. No, this one is mine. Adjust it now. Vivian and Sylvia fawned. You look stunning, madam, like a true queen of New York society. Their flattery rang hollow, echoing the subtle biases that had plagued Josephine's ascent, the assumption that beauty and worth were reserved for those of lighter hue. The tension mounted as Elise presented the bill, a sumptuous $50,000 a figure that danced on the edge of extravagance, yet grounded in the reality of high fashion. Sarah produced a card, her smile a mask of confidence. Charge it to my husband's account. But the machine beeped in rejection, the limit her reckless spending exceeded in the previous days. There must be a mistake, Sarah stammered, her voice cracking like fine china under pressure. The boutique fell into an awkward hush, the mirrors now reflecting not glamour, but the raw exposure of pretense. Josephine felt a pang of empathy mingled with justice. Her heart softened by the romance that taught her compassion, even in victory. Yet she could not let the moment pass without a gentle nudge toward truth. Stepping forward with the grace of a dancer on Broadway's stage, she offered, "Perhaps I can assist. Mistakes in transactions happen in the best of circles." Sarah's eyes narrowed, a flicker of suspicion crossing her features, but desperation won. "Fine, but don't think this makes us equals." Josephine produced her black card with subtle finesse, the emblem of King Enterprises' elite access, a symbol of the empire she shared with Alexander. Elise's eyes widened in recognition, processing the payment seamlessly. "Thank you, miss. This covers everything." The transaction was a whisper of triumph. Josephine's act veiled as kindness, but laced with the poetry of revelation. Oblivious to the card's significance, Sarah accepted the dress with grudging thanks, her charade intact for now, but fraying at the seams. The city seemed alive with possibility as the group exited the crisp Manhattan air. Josephine lingered, purchasing a small accessory, a delicate brooch that reminded her of Alexander's gifts. In a quiet call to him later, amid the hum of taxis and distant sirens, she shared the day's events. "Your world tests me, my love, but each challenge draws me closer to you." His warm and inviting laughter wrapped around her like a cashmere shawl. "You are the architect of our destiny, Josie. Your grace exposes the false, illuminating the true." The exposure deepened that evening at a pre-gala soiree in a rooftop lounge overlooking the East River. Adorned in an ill-fitted dress, Sarah mingled with executives her stories of marital bliss, weaving a web of lies. In her simple attire, Josephine engaged in conversations that revealed her depth, discussing tech innovations, with an insight born from pillow talks with Alexander. One executive, charmed by her intellect, remarked, "You have a fire that could light up Wall Street." Sarah overheard her jealousy igniting like a spark in dry tinder. A subtle confrontation ensued in the powder room mirrors, multiplying their images like echoes of conflict. "Who do you think you are meddling in my affairs?" Sarah hissed, her facade cracking further. Josephine met her gaze with serene confidence. Merely an observer seeking truth in a world of illusions. Her refined and persuasive words planted seeds of doubt, convincing even Sarah's allies to question the narrative. As night fell, stars piercing the urban canopy, Josephine retreated to their penthouse, where Alexander awaited via video. Their conversation flowed like a river of intimacy, his admiration a balm to her spirit. You unravel them with elegance, my beloved, a dance of shadows and light. In that moment, their love transcended the day's trials, a romantic odyssey, where every exposure brought them closer hearts, beating in harmonious rhythm. The facade had begun to crumble, exposing cracks that promised greater revelations. Josephine's journey was far from over her strength, a beacon guiding her through the labyrinth of deceit, all for the love that burned eternal. The neon glow of Las Vegas Boulevard shimmered like a river of liquid gold, where fortunes were wagered, and secrets raced through the night like untamed stallions. Josephine Sanchez arrived in this desert oasis, not as the concealed consort of Alexander King, but as the enigmatic force weaving through the undercurrents of his empire. Her presence, a blend of poised mystery and unyielding allure, carried the essence of her LA route streets, where speed was survival, and every turn held the thrill of the unknown. Alexander, her anchor in a sea of velocity, had arranged this detour. His voice, a soothing murmur over the phone. Uncover the truths hidden in motion. My darling, your intuition is the compass that guides us both. Their love a fusion of his structured world, and her free-spirited fire pulsed with the intensity of a high-octane engine propelling her forward. The invitation to the exclusive Auto Expo at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway was a glittering lure, drawing the office elite into a realm of horsepower and high stakes. Clinging to her fabricated crown, Sarah Thompson had turned it into her stage boasting of connections that would dazzle. We'll see true luxury on wheels, she declared to Vivian and Sylvia, her tone a velvet glove over iron ambition. They boarded the private charter, the air thick with anticipation. At the same time, Josephine sat quietly, her thoughts drifting to memories of underground races in LA's shadowed alleys, where she had honed her skills behind the wheel, outpacing prejudices with sheer velocity. The speedway sprawled under the Nevada sun, a coliseum of chrome and carbon fiber where dreams of speed converged. Exotic cars lined the track like jewels in a crown, their engines purring promises of adrenaline. Sarah led the charge, her eyes alight with greed. She announced that McLaren Senna, it's mine to command, pointing to the sleek beast, its body, a symphony of aerodynamic grace valued at a grounded $3 million. The mechanic, a weathered veteran named Raul, with a knowing smile nodded deferentially. For the VIPs, ma'am. As Sarah approached, the car's voice-activated system awaited like a sentinel. Ignite, she commanded, her voice echoing with false authority. But the machine remained silent, its digital heart unmoved by her pretense. Frustration etched her features, her attempts growing frantic. Start. Open. Sesame drawing chuckles from onlookers. Vivian whispered, "Perhaps it's temperamental, madam." But the truth lingered unspoken. The car was keyed to Josephine's voice, a gift from Alexander during a romantic getaway in the Mojave, where they had raced under starlit skies, his laughter mingling with the roar of engines. Josephine watched, her heart a steady drumbeat amidst the chaos. The expo buzzed with energy vendors, showcasing innovations from Detroit to Silicon Valley. Still, her mind wandered to Alexander's tender embraces, where his pale fingers intertwined with hers, symbolizing their unbreakable union. "Speed is our metaphor, Josie," he had said, rushing toward a shared horizon. Their romance was a high-speed chase of souls, defying the barriers that society erected. Stepping forward with the fluidity of a desert wind, Josephine uttered softly, "Awaken, Phoenix." The car hummed to life, doors unlocking with a whisper, its dashboard illuminating like a lover's gaze. Gasps rippled through the group. Sarah's face a mask of disbelief. "How?" she stammered, her charade teetering on the edge of collapse. Josephine offered a serene smile. Sometimes machines recognize the true spirit behind the command. The revelation sparked a cascade of secrets. Raoul, privy to the car's ownership logs, confirmed Josephine's claim, subtly his eyes twinkling with respect for her unassuming prowess. Sarah, desperate to reclaim control, insisted on a drive. "Let's take it for a spin, prove it's not a fluke." The track awaited a ribbon of asphalt, curving under the relentless sun. Josephine agreed, but with conditions. Safety first, and no recklessness. As they piled in, the car's interior enveloped them in leather luxury sensors, humming in sync with Josephine's presence. The lap began tentatively, Sarah gripping the wheel with white-knuckled determination. But as speed built, her inexperience showed tires screeching on turns, the engine protesting her heavy hand. In the passenger seat, Josephine guided with gentle precision, ease into the curve, feel the rhythm. Her words, infused with the poetry of her street racing past, persuaded even Sarah to listen momentarily. Yet pride overrode caution. Sarah pushed the limits, the car fishtailing dangerously. In a heart-pounding moment, Josephine took control, via override stabilizing the vehicle with expert finesse. The group emerged shaken, and Sarah's facade splintered further. You own this," Vivian ventured, her voice laced with awe and regret. Josephine nodded modestly. "It's a shared passion, a symbol of journeys taken together." The confession unveiled layers of her life, the underground circuits where she, as a young Black Latina, had outraced stereotypes, forging a path that led to Alexander's arms. James King, arriving unexpectedly from a nearby conference, witnessed the aftermath. His intrigue deepened, mistaking Josephine's command for mere luck, yet drawn to her magnetic calm. Impressive handling. He complimented, his blue eyes mirroring his brother's, sparking a subtle tension in the air. Sarah, sensing the shift, whispered barbs of division. "She's just showing off. People like her crave the spotlight." The day unfolded in revelations. Josephine revealing ownership of a private track section, a haven where she and Alexander escaped the world's judgments. As sunset painted the desert in hues of crimson and gold, she stole away for a call. "The secrets unfold, my love, like petals in bloom." Alexander's response, rich with affection. "You race through my thoughts, Josie, leaving trails of desire." Their dialogue was a romantic sonnet, each word a caress, bridging distances. In the evening's glow, a private demo lap sealed the exposure. Josephine was behind the wheel, the car an extension of her will, outpacing Sarah's attempts and earning admiration from the expo crowd. Secrets whispered on the wind, hints of Sarah's ties to a rival auto firm uncovered in casual conversations. Josephine's heart swelled with the thrill, her love for Alexander, the fuel propelling her onward. The speed in secrets had accelerated, the unraveling, each revelation a step closer to truth. Josephine emerged stronger, her journey a testament to love's enduring velocity, racing toward horizons yet unseen. The opulent halls of Christie's auction house in Rockefeller Center stood as a temple to extravagance, where the elite of New York converged like constellations aligning in a velvet sky. Josephine Sanchez entered this realm of whispered bids and gilded legacies with the quiet allure of a hidden gem. Her presence, a subtle rebellion against the homogeneity of high society. Dressed in an understated yet elegant black gown that hugged her curves like a lover's embrace, her dark skin radiated a warmth that drew eyes, some admiring, others laced with the subtle envy of those unaccustomed to such unapologetic beauty. She moved through the crowd, a symphony of grace amid the cacophony of crystal clinking and murmured fortunes, her thoughts anchored to Alexander King. the man whose love was her North Star, guiding her through these glittering tempests. With his aristocratic poise and the quiet intensity of a storm brewing over the Atlantic, Alexander had prepared her for this evening in hushed conversations that lingered like sweet wine on the tongue. "Tonight, my Josie, let the world glimpse the crown you already wear in my heart," he had said, his voice a caress across the miles, evoking memories of their stolen rendezvous in hidden Central Park alcoves where his touch bridged worlds divided by heritage and hue. Their romance was a masterpiece of contrasts, his fair complexion against her rich tones, a visual ode to unity, each moment a defiant whisper against the currents of convention. The auction commenced under the glow of chandeliers that dripped light like molten gold, the air thick with anticipation. Items paraded before the assembly, ancient artifacts from forgotten empires, paintings that captured souls in strokes of genius. But the crown jewel, quite literally, was the diamond tiara, a relic designed by a master jeweler for a bygone socialite, encrusted with $50 million worth of flawless gems that symbolized eternal devotion. Starting bid, $10 million. The auctioneer intoned his gavel, a punctuation to dreams. In her web of illusions, Sarah Thompson sat flanked by her sycophants, her bids rising with the fervor of one claiming a throne not hers. 15 million, she called, her voice slicing through the murmurs, eyes gleaming with the thrill of possession. Vivian and Sylvia applauded softly their loyalty, a fragile edifice built on misconceptions. Josephine, seated in a shadowed balcony, observed with a poet's detachment, her heart stirring at the tiara's symbolism. Eternal love, much like the vow she and Alexander had exchanged in a moonlit ceremony, where he had promised, "You are my forever. Josie, a crown upon my soul." As bids escalated, a subtle undercurrent of rivalry emerged. A mysterious bidder from the back row countered Sarah's offers, driving the price skyward. Whispers rippled. "Who is that?" "A tech mogul. An heiress." Josephine's pulse quickened. She recognized the voice. Alexander's discreet proxy, ensuring the tiara found its way to her. The romance of it all enveloped her, a secret dance, where his gestures spoke volumes unspoken, each declaring his unwavering affection. Sarah, sensing victory slipping, pushed harder. 30 million. Her exclamation drew gasps, but the proxy persisted. 40. The room tensed, the air electric with the drama of wealth clashing. Josephine leaned forward, her mind weaving fantasies of wearing the tiara in private moments with Alexander, his fingers tracing its contours as he whispered endearments that melted her defenses. Their love was a high society secret, a blend of passion and intellect, transcending the superficial bids below. The climax arrived in a breathless hush. 50 million going once, twice. The gavel fell, and the tiara was awarded to the anonymous bidder. Sarah's composure fractured, her whispers to allies venomous. "That should have been mine." But as the evening waned, a courier approached Josephine, discreetly presenting a velvet box. Inside gleamed the tiara, accompanied by a note in Alexander's elegant script. "For the queen who rules my heart. Wear it, and know my love is boundless." Tears pricked her eyes, the gesture a romantic crescendo that affirmed their bond. She slipped away to a private alcove, dialing him under the stars visible through a skylight. "Alex, it's exquisite, like your devotion." His chuckle, deep and resonant, wrapped around her. "You outshine it, my love. This is but a token of the empire we build together." Their conversation flowed like a sonnet, each word a brushstroke, painting their future, convincing her that their truth was the rarest gem in this world of facades. The night's revelations extended beyond the bid. Amid the post-auction mingling, Josephine encountered old acquaintances from her art circles who marveled at her insights on the tiara's historical significance. "You speak with the wisdom of one who knows actual value," one collector remarked, persuaded by her eloquent discourse on symbolism in jewelry. Sarah, overhearing, approached with feigned civility, her jealousy a veiled dagger. Quite the evening intern, dreaming of such luxuries. Josephine's response was a masterpiece of subtlety. Dreams have a way of manifesting when rooted in authenticity. Her words, laced with persuasive charm, planted doubts in the minds of onlookers who began to question Sarah's narrative. The high society swirl intensified alliances, shifting like sands in the Nevada dunes Josephine had once traversed. As dawn crept over the city, Josephine returned to her suite, the tiara, a tangible link to Alexander. Their love, interwoven with the night's drama, blossomed anew, a romantic epic where every bid and glance drew them closer. The auction had crowned not just an item, but the enduring power of their union, setting the stage for legacies yet to unfold. In the quiet hours, Josephine reflected on the evening's poetry, the tiara, as a metaphor for their interracial harmony, defying the whispers of high society. Alexander's final message sealed the night. "You are my crown. Josie, eternal, unbreakable." Her heart swelled, convinced that their story was destined for immortality. The sprawling estate in the Hamptons stood as a bastion of legacy, where manicured lawns stretched like emerald tapestries under the autumn sun, and the salty tang of the Atlantic whispered tales of generations past. Josephine Sanchez arrived at this ancestral haven with a heart heavy, yet hopeful, her journey a pilgrimage to roots long obscured by the veils of time and circumstance. Her ebony grace contrasted the pale stone facades, a living embodiment of resilience amid opulence. Her thoughts tethered to Alexander King, the man whose love was a lighthouse in her stormy seas. "Embrace your heritage, my Josie," he had urged in a dawn-lit call, his voice a tender balm, evoking nights where his embraces dissolved the world's divisions, their souls merging in harmonious bliss. Amelia Rivera, the formidable matriarch whose Rivera Corporation dominated the American art and media landscape, awaited in the grand salon, her presence, a force of nature clad in tailored silk. Amelia's eyes, sharp as a sculptor's chisel, softened upon seeing Josephine, recognition blooming like a rare orchid. "My daughter," she breathed, extending arms that promised redemption. The reunion unfolded in layers of emotion. Amelia recounted the painful separation, a forbidden love with Josephine's father, a Black Mexican artist, thwarted by family edicts, leading to years of search across the vast American tapestry. Josephine listened, her heart a canvas, painted with conflicting hues, joy at the connection, sorrow for lost years. "Why now, mother?" she asked, her voice a melodic inquiry, laced with vulnerability. Amelia's response revealed regret and resolve. "I built an empire in your absence, but it means nothing without you. The inheritance is yours, the corporation, the galleries from Miami to Chicago." Their dialogue flowed like a river reuniting with the sea, persuasive in its sincerity, convincing Josephine of the bond's authenticity. Yet shadows lurked in the form of Jenna Morales, Amelia's adopted daughter, a sharp-minded Latina with ambitions that burned like wildfire. Jenna, raised in the lap of luxury, viewed Josephine's arrival as an invasion, her jealousy a venomous undercurrent. "She's an outsider," Jenna confided to Grandpa Carlos Rivera, the patriarchal figure whose conservative views echoed the old guard of American dynasties. With his silver mane and unyielding gaze, Carlos nodded his betrayal. Brewing. The bloodline must remain pure. Jenna is family by choice proven. The inheritance discussions ignited in the estate's library shelves, laden with tomes of art history, mirroring the family's tangled legacy. Amelia presented the Dichuca document grounded in American law, naming Josephine as primary heir to the billion-dollar empire. "This is your birthright." Amelia declared her words a persuasive symphony, evoking Josephine's artistic soul, forged in LA's vibrant murals. But Carlos interjected, his voice thunderous. "Not while I breathe. Jenna has earned it through loyalty." Betrayal crystallized as Jenna unveiled forged documents, subtly altered to question Josephine's lineage, her schemes, a web spun in secret boardrooms. "See? She's not one of us." Jenna argued, her tone laced with calculated charm, persuading wavering relatives. Sensing the trap, Josephine drew upon her inner strength, the same that had navigated corporate intrigues and societal biases. "Truth endures scrutiny," she countered eloquently, her words a refined blade cutting through deception. Alexander's support arrived via an encrypted message. His love, a steadfast pillar. "Your blood sings of greatness. My passion. Claim what is yours." Their romance infused the moment with poetic depth, his devotion a shield against the storm. Josephine proposed a neutral arbitration, invoking family lawyers from prestigious firms, turning the betrayal into a battle of intellects. The climax unfolded in a tense family council under the estate's chandelier-lit hall, waves crashing outside like omens. Evidence-mounted DNA records, handled discreetly through modern labs, avoiding mysticism, confirmed Josephine's claim, dismantling Jenna's forgeries. Carlos's face hardened, and his betrayal was exposed as favoritism rooted in outdated prejudices. "You've poisoned this house," Amelia accused, her maternal fire blazing. Jenna's facade crumbled, her pleas a desperate melody. "I only wanted to belong." But Josephine, with compassionate wisdom, extended an olive branch. "Belonging isn't taken, it's shared." Her persuasive grace swayed the room, convincing even skeptics of her rightful place. Cornered by irrefutable proof, Carlos relented grudgingly, his empire's keys passing to Josephine amid whispers of reform. In the aftermath, as sunset gilded the ocean, Josephine wandered the gardens with Amelia, forging bonds anew. "You've inherited more than wealth. My dreams for you." Amelia confided, their embrace a poignant reunion. Alexander's call sealed the evening. "You've conquered bloodlines, Josie, as you conquer my heart daily." Their conversation, rich with romantic fervor, painted futures intertwined, her inheritance a canvas for their shared legacy. The bloodlines and betrayal had forged Josephine anew, her journey, a romantic saga where love triumphed over division, paving paths to empires of the heart. The sultry air of Miami wrapped around Josephine Sanchez like a lover's embrace, its tropical warmth a stark contrast to the cool, calculated elegance of the Rivera Corporation's art gallery headquarters. The building, a glass and steel monument to creativity, stood sentinel over the vibrant city, its walls adorned with masterpieces that whispered of dreams painted in bold strokes. Josephine, with her rich ebony skin glowing under the Florida sun, moved through this world with the grace of a muse, her presence a silent rebellion against the subtle prejudices that lingered in the corridors of power. Her heart, tethered to Alexander King, beat with the rhythm of their shared love, a romance that transcended race and class, forged in stolen moments beneath starry skies, and now tested in the crucible of corporate ambition. "You are my masterpiece, Josie," Alexander had murmured during their last call, his voice a velvet promise that lingered like the scent of jasmine in her memory, Paint this new canvas with your brilliance. Josephine had joined the Rivera Corporation as an intern, not out of necessity. Still, choice a deliberate step to learn the empire her mother Amelia Rivera had built from the ashes of a fractured family. With its blend of passion and politics, the art world was a natural fit for Josephine, whose street murals in Los Angeles had once captured the soul of a city. Yet the gallery's sleek offices were a battlefield where Jenna Morales, Amelia's adopted daughter, waged a silent war. With her sharp features and sharper ambitions, Jenna saw Josephine's arrival as an invasion of her curated domain. Her allies, junior curators like Vivian Clark and Sylvia Woods, echoed her disdain, their whispers laced with the subtle racism that dismissed Josephine's heritage as unrefined. The sabotage began subtly, like brushstrokes of malice on a pristine canvas. Josephine was assigned menial tasks, cataloging dusty archives and fetching coffee for board meetings. Each order was calculated slightly. "Don't dawdle, intern," Vivian sneered, her tone implying Josephine's place was beneath the gallery's polished veneer. Yet Josephine's spirit, honed by years of overcoming adversity in LA's tough neighborhoods, remained unbroken. She worked with quiet precision, her mind cataloging not just art, but the undercurrents of deceit. The conspiracy crystallized during preparations for a high-profile exhibition showcasing contemporary Black and Latino artists meant to redefine Miami's cultural landscape. Josephine was tasked with guarding a collection of rare paintings overnight, a role Mr. Wood, the stern gallery director, assigned with a grudging nod. "Don't let these treasures out of your sight," he warned, unaware of the trap being set. Jenna, seizing the opportunity, orchestrated a plot with her clique. Under the cover of night, they slipped into the gallery, splashing archival ink, a custom blend designed to resist removal across the canvases. Their laughter, a venomous echo in the darkened halls. Morning broke with chaos. Mr. Wood stormed in his face, a mask of fury, as he surveyed the ruined artworks. "Josephine, you were responsible." He bellowed, his accusation piercing the air like a discordant note. Jenna, feigning shock, chimed in. "She's jealous of our talent, and she probably did it to sabotage the show." The gallery buzzed with condemnation, colleagues whispering that a street artist like Josephine couldn't handle high art. The sting of their prejudice cut deep, but Josephine's heart clung to Alexander's words. "Your strength is a palette of resilience, my love. Paint through the darkness." Drawing on her roots as a muralist who had restored faded walls under LA's relentless sun, Josephine proposed a daring solution. "Give me 10 hours, Mr. Wood. I'll fix them." Her melodic and persuasive voice carried the conviction of one who had turned scars into art. Skeptical but desperate, he agreed, setting a deadline for the evening's gala. The challenge was monumental. The ink was engineered to resist solvents, a testament to Jenna's cunning. Yet Josephine's mind raced with solutions, her hands steady as she recalled techniques from her youth, blending chemistry with creativity. As hours ticked by, Josephine worked in solitude, the gallery a silent witness to her artistry. She mixed bespoke solutions, her knowledge gleaned from years of experimenting with pigments in underground studios. Each stroke was a love letter to Alexander, whose faith in her was a beacon. She recalled their nights in a Soho loft, where he watched her paint, his blue eyes alight with awe. "Your hands create worlds, Josie," he had said, his touch a gentle affirmation of their interracial bond, a defiance of the world's divisions. The climax approached as the gala loomed. Jenna, confident in her sabotage, taunted Josephine during a break. "You'll fail, and the world will see you for the fraud you are." Her words, sharp as a critic's pen, aimed to wound, but Josephine's response was a masterpiece of composure. "Art reveals truth, Jenna. Let's see whose vision endures." Her refined and persuasive eloquence sowed doubts among onlookers who began questioning Jenna's narrative. With minutes to spare, Josephine unveiled the restored paintings, each canvas salvaged and enhanced vibrant hues, now pulsing with renewed life, reflecting her heritage in every stroke. The gala erupted in applause, Mr. Wood's stern demeanor softening into respect. "Remarkable, Ms. Sanchez. You've turned disaster into triumph." The crowd, a mix of Miami's elite and art aficionados, marveled at the works, unaware of the conspiracy thwarted. Jenna's facade cracked, her allies faltering as whispers of her involvement surfaced. Josephine, with the grace of a seasoned artist, chose not to accuse directly, instead letting the evidence security logs showing late-night entries speak for itself. Mr. Wood, reviewing the data, promised an investigation. His faith in Josephine solidified. In a quiet moment, she called Alexander, the Miami skyline glittering beyond her window. "I painted through their schemes, my love," she said, her voice a tender melody. His warm and resonant reply, "You've created a masterpiece. Josie, our passion in every hue." The sabotage had been a crucible, forging Josephine's place in the Rivera Corporation. Her romance with Alexander, a tapestry of passion and perseverance, glowed brighter, a beacon guiding her through the conspiracies yet to come. The art world, once a battleground, now beckoned as her canvas, where love and talent would paint a legacy eternal. The Miami sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the Rivera Corporation's gallery, where shadows of ambition danced with the light of truth. Josephine Sanchez stood at the heart of this empire, her presence a radiant defiance against the undercurrents of deceit, threatening to unravel her mother's legacy. Her dark skin, kissed by the twilight, held stories of triumph over adversity, her eyes alight with the fire of a woman whose love for Alexander King was both shield and sword. Their romance, a poetic fusion of his aristocratic grace and her vibrant resilience, wove through every challenge a thread of gold in the tapestry of her journey. "You are my justice, Josie," Alexander whispered in their last call, his voice a caress that lingered like the warm breeze off Biscayne Bay. "Unveil the truth, and I'll always stand by you." The gallery's boardroom was tense, a crucible where power and betrayal collided. Still cloaked in her intern's guise, Josephine had become a quiet force, her contributions to the recent exhibition earning whispers of admiration. Yet the air was thick with conspiracy, orchestrated by Jenna Morales, whose ambition burned brighter than the neon lights of South Beach. With her calculated charm, Jenna had rallied allies like Vivian Clark and Sylvia Woods, their loyalty fueled by the promise of favor in the Rivera Empire. Their latest scheme aimed to oust Josephine, painting her as incompetent to secure Jenna's claim to the inheritance. The plot unfolded during a critical board meeting where the exhibition's success was to be celebrated. Mr. Wood announced a new multimedia project to promote the gallery's global outreach. He said, "We need a leader for this," his gaze sweeping the room. Jenna seized the moment, proposing herself with a polished pitch stolen from Josephine's notes, glimpsed during a late-night sabotage. She declared that "I've crafted a vision that'll elevate us to MoMA's league," her allies nodding in sycophantic agreement. Vivian added that this is unlike some interns who can't handle responsibility. Josephine felt the sting of betrayal, but her heart, anchored by Alexander's unwavering love, pulsed with resolve. She recalled their nights in a Manhattan penthouse, where his fingers traced patterns on her skin. His words, a vow. "Your brilliance outshines their shadows, my love." Their interracial bond was a rebellion against such prejudice, a testament to love's power to transcend. Rising with the elegance of a dancer on a grand stage, she countered, "May I present an alternative vision, one rooted in authenticity and diversity." Her presentation, delivered with persuasive finesse, wove a narrative of inclusivity, showcasing artists from marginalized communities, a nod to her journey as a Black Latina. The room leaned in, captivated by her eloquence, her words painting a future where art bridged divides. Jenna's smile faltered, her stolen ideas exposed as derivative. Mr. Wood, impressed, nodded. "Ms. Sanchez, you've set a new standard." The turning point came when Josephine unveiled evidence of the sabotage, a digital log from the gallery's security system, meticulously analyzed during sleepless nights. She stated that the paintings were targeted deliberately, her voice a melodic indictment, and the culprits left traces. The logs pointed to Jenna's late-night access, corroborated by a whistleblower from the cleaning staff, weary of her manipulations. The boardroom hushed the truth, a sharp brushstroke across Jenna's facade. Jenna's allies wavered, Sylvia whispering, "She couldn't have, could she?" But the evidence was irrefutable, and Mr. Wood's verdict was swift. "Ms. Morales, you're suspended pending investigation." The announcement sent ripples through the room, allies scattering like leaves in a storm. With a poet's compassion, Josephine offered Jenna a chance to confess privately, but her defiance held firm. "You'll regret this." Intern Jenna hissed her betrayal, a desperate grasp at fading power. The climax unfolded when Amelia Rivera arrived, her presence a commanding force. Informed of the conspiracy, she called an emergency meeting with the board, where Josephine's identity as her daughter was revealed. "This is my heir," Amelia declared, her voice a symphony of maternal pride, "and her integrity will guide this corporation." The revelation stunned the room, Vivian and Sylvia shrinking under the weight of their misjudgments. Grandpa Carlos Rivera, clinging to his patriarchal influence, protested from his Connecticut retreat, his voice crackling over a video call. "Jenna is family. She's proven herself," but Amelia, with legal precision, presented the Dichuk notarized under American law, affirming Josephine's rights. Carlos's schemes tied to outdated alliances with corrupt board members unraveled as Amelia's lawyers exposed financial discrepancies, funds siphoned to favor Jenna's allies. "You're relieved of your duties, Father," Amelia stated her decision, a blade of justice. The board voted unanimously, ousting Carlos and his cronies, their corruption, a stain cleansed by Josephine's truth. In the aftermath, she stood on the gallery's balcony, the Miami skyline, a canvas of possibility. Calling Alexander, she shared the victory. "I've unveiled their lies, my love, and our future shines brighter." His response rich with adoration. "You're the justice in my heart, Josie, a beacon for our shared dreams." Their dialogue was a romantic overture, each word a note in their eternal symphony. Josephine's compassion extended to Sarah Thompson, who, in a twist of fate, sent a hesitant apology from her diminished role in New York. "I was wrong about you." Sarah wrote, her words a fragile bridge toward redemption. Guided by the love that softened her edges, Josephine promised to advocate for her, a gesture of grace that persuaded even skeptics of her nobility. The termination of corruption had crowned Josephine as a leader, and her journey was a romantic epic, where love and justice painted a legacy as vibrant as the art she cherished. The Rivera Corporation, now hers to shape, awaited her vision, a testament to the bond she shared with Alexander. The beaches of Miami stretched like a canvas of dreams, where turquoise waves kissed ivory sands under a sky ablaze with the hues of a lover's vow. Josephine Sanchez stood at the heart of this coastal paradise, her ebony skin glowing with the radiance of a woman whose love for Alexander King was her anchor and sail. Clad in a flowing gown of ivory silk, its delicate embroidery echoing the vibrant murals of her Los Angeles youth, she embodied a vision of grace that defied the world's divisions. Their romance a tapestry woven from the threads of his aristocratic lineage, and her resilient spirit shimmered like the horizon where sea met sky, a testament to love's power to transcend race and expectation. Today, My Josie Alexander had whispered in the quiet dawn, his voice a tender melody, across their beachfront villa. We renew our vows before the world, our hearts forever entwined. The wedding was a private affair, orchestrated on a secluded stretch of South Beach, where palm trees swayed like sentinels, guarding their sacred bond. Alexander, resplendent in a tailored tuxedo, his blue eyes alight with devotion, stood beneath an arch of orchids, each petal a whisper of their shared journey. The guest list was intimate, trusted friends, a few Rivera Corporation allies, and James King, Alexander's brother, whose recent heroism at the Las Vegas Speedway deepened their familial ties. Yet beneath the surface of this idyllic scene, danger lurked like a shadow cast by the setting sun, its presence a silent threat to their bliss. Josephine's heart fluttered as she walked toward Alexander, her bare feet sinking into the warm sand, each step declaring their unity. Their love had weathered storms, corporate intrigues, familial betrayals, and societal prejudices, and now blossomed in this moment of eternal promise. You are my horizon, Alex, she had told him during a moonlit rehearsal, her voice a poetic caress, where every journey leads to home. His response, a vow sealed with a kiss, and you, my love, are the star that guides me. Their interracial bond, a defiant harmony of contrasts, persuaded the world to see beauty in their union. The ceremony began as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of coral and gold. The officiant's words wove a spell binding their souls anew. Do you, Alexander, take Josephine to be your lawfully wedded wife? Through all trials and triumphs, his I do resonated like a chord struck in a grand symphony, echoed by Josephine's own, her voice a melody of conviction. The exchange of rings, a pair of intertwined bands, one gold, one ebony, symbolized their unbreakable unity, each glint a promise of forever. But as the rings settled on their fingers, a discordant note pierced the harmony. Sarah Thompson, her once proud demeanor frayed by her fall from grace, emerged from the shadows of the guest tents, her eyes wild with desperation. Clad in a stolen server's uniform, she had infiltrated the event, her presence unnoticed by the relaxed security of this private affair. In her hand gleamed a vial, its contents catching the fading light with a sinister shimmer. Acid procured through dark channels, a weapon of vengeance orchestrated by Jenna Morales, whose schemes from the Rivera Corporation lingered like a venomous aftertaste. Josephine, you took everything. Sarah's voice cracked like a shattered mirror, her accusation slicing through the celebration. The crowd froze, gasps rising like waves. Josephine, her heart pounding yet steady, met Sarah's gaze with serene resolve, her love for Alexander a shield against the threat. Sarah, let's talk. Hate solves nothing. She urged, her words a persuasive balm, seeking to diffuse the danger. But Sarah's rage, fueled by Jenna's manipulations, erupted. She lunged the vial, raised its contents, aimed at Josephine's radiant form. Time slowed, the world narrowing to this moment of peril. James King, ever vigilant, reacted with the speed of a guardian, throwing himself between them. The acid splashed across his arm, a searing cry escaping his lips as he fell, his sacrifice a testament to newfound loyalty. Josephine's scream mingled with Alexander's shout. The couple rushed to his side as security swarmed, restraining Sarah swiftly. Chaos ensued, and the idyllic beach transformed into a scene of urgency. Paramedics arrived, their sirens a jarring counterpoint to the ocean's lullaby. James, grimacing, yet stoic, was whisked to a nearby hospital, his injury severe, but not fatal. Josephine clung to Alexander, their hands entwined, her heart a storm of gratitude and fear. "He saved me, Alex," she whispered, tears tracing paths down her cheeks. His firm and protective embrace was a vow renewed. "We'll face this together, my love. Our strength is unbreakable." The police arriving under Miami's starry canopy uncovered the plot's roots. Sarah, sobbing in custody, confessed to Jenna's orchestration, revealing a recorded conversation evidence secured by Josephine's earlier forgiveness, which had prompted Sarah to wear a wire in hopes of redemption. The recording, played in the quiet of a makeshift command post, exposed Jenna's voice. "Ruin her, Sarah, and I'll secure your place at Rivera." The betrayal stung, but Josephine's compassion had turned the tables, her grace persuading even the officers of her nobility. As dawn broke, painting the horizon in hues of hope, Josephine and Alexander stood by James's hospital bed, his recovery assured by Miami's finest doctors. "Your family, James," Josephine said, her voice a tender melody, "and family endures." Their bond, forged in crisis, deepened a romantic echo of the love that united her with Alexander. In a private call, Alexander's words sealed the moment. "You turned danger into destiny. Josie, our love is our fortress." Their dialogue, a poetic dance, convinced her that no threat could dim their light. The wedding, though marred, ended in triumph, the guests rallying around the couple with renewed admiration. Josephine's heart swelled, her journey, a romantic saga where love defied danger, paving the way for justice to unfold under the Miami stars. The beaches of Miami stretched like a canvas of dreams, where turquoise waves kissed ivory sands under a sky ablaze with the hues of a lover's vow. Josephine Sanchez stood at the heart of this coastal paradise, her ebony skin glowing with the radiance of a woman whose love for Alexander King was her anchor and sail. Clad in a flowing gown of ivory silk, its delicate embroidery echoing the vibrant murals of her Los Angeles youth, she embodied a vision of grace that defied the world's divisions. Their romance, a tapestry woven from the threads of his aristocratic lineage, and her resilient spirit, shimmered like the horizon, where sea met sky, a testament to love's power to transcend race and expectation. Today, my Josie Alexander had whispered in the quiet dawn, his voice a tender melody across their beachfront villa. "We renew our vows before the world, our hearts forever entwined." The wedding was a private affair, orchestrated on a secluded stretch of South Beach, where palm trees swayed like sentinels guarding their sacred bond. Alexander, resplendent in a tailored tuxedo, his blue eyes alight with devotion, stood beneath an arch of orchids, each petal a whisper of their shared journey. The guest list was intimate, trusted friends, a few Rivera Corporation allies, and James King, Alexander's brother, whose recent heroism at the Las Vegas Speedway deepened their familial ties. Yet beneath the surface of this idyllic scene, danger lurked like a shadow cast by the setting sun, its presence a silent threat to their bliss. Josephine's heart fluttered as she walked toward Alexander, her bare feet sinking into the warm sand, each step declaring their unity. Their love had weathered storms, corporate intrigues, familial betrayals, and societal prejudices, and now blossomed in this moment of eternal promise. "You are my horizon, Alex," she had told him during a moonlit rehearsal, her voice a poetic caress where every journey leads to home. His response, a vow sealed with a kiss, "And you, my love, are the star that guides me." Their interracial bond, a defiant harmony of contrasts, persuaded the world to see beauty in their union. The ceremony began as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of coral and gold. The officiant's words wove a spell, binding their souls anew. "Do you, Alexander, take Josephine to be your lawfully wedded wife Through all trials and triumphs, his I do resonated like a chord struck in a grand symphony, echoed by Josephine's own. Her voice, a melody of conviction. The exchange of rings, a pair of intertwined bands, one gold, one ebony, symbolized their unbreakable unity, each glint a promise of forever. But as the rings settled on their fingers, a discordant note pierced the harmony. Sarah Thompson, her once proud demeanor frayed by her fall from grace, emerged from the shadows of the guest tents, her eyes wild with desperation. Clad in a stolen server's uniform, she had infiltrated the event, her presence unnoticed by the relaxed security of this private affair. In her hand gleamed a vial, its contents catching the fading light with a sinister shimmer. Acid procured through dark channels, a weapon of vengeance orchestrated by Jenna Morales, whose schemes from the Rivera Corporation lingered like a venomous aftertaste. Josephine, you took everything. Sarah's voice cracked like a shattered mirror, her accusations slicing through the celebration. The crowd froze, gasps rising like waves. Josephine, her heart pounding, yet steady, met Sarah's gaze with serene resolve, her love for Alexander a shield against the threat. Sarah, let's talk. Hate solves nothing. She urged, her words a persuasive balm seeking to diffuse the danger. But Sarah's rage, fueled by Jenna's manipulations, erupted. She lunged the vial, raised its contents, aimed at Josephine's radiant form. Time slowed the world, narrowing to this moment of peril. James King, ever vigilant, reacted with the speed of a guardian, throwing himself between them. The acid splashed across his arm, a searing cry escaping his lips as he fell his sacrifice, a testament to newfound loyalty. Josephine's scream mingled with Alexander's shout. The couple rushed to his side as security swarmed, restraining Sarah swiftly. Chaos ensued, and the idyllic beach transformed into a scene of urgency. Paramedics arrived, their sirens a jarring counterpoint to the ocean's lullaby. James, grimacing yet stoic, was whisked to a nearby hospital, his injury severe, but not fatal. Josephine clung to Alexander. Their hands entwined, her heart a storm of gratitude and fear. "He saved me, Alex," she whispered, tears tracing paths down her cheeks. His firm and protective embrace was a vow renewed. "We'll face this together, my love. Our strength is unbreakable." The police, arriving under Miami's starry canopy, uncovered the plot's roots. Sarah, sobbing in custody, confessed to Jenna's orchestration, revealing a recorded conversation, evidence secured by Josephine's earlier forgiveness, which had prompted Sarah to wear a wire in hopes of redemption. The recording, played in the quiet of a makeshift command post, exposed Jenna's voice. "Ruin her, Sarah, and I'll secure your place at Rivera." The betrayal stung, but Josephine's compassion had turned the tables, her grace persuading even the officers of her nobility. As dawn broke, painting the horizon in hues of hope, Josephine and Alexander stood by James's hospital bed, his recovery assured by Miami's finest doctors. "Your family, James." Josephine said, her voice a tender melody, "and family endures." Their bond, forged in crisis, deepened, a romantic echo of the love that united her with Alexander. In a private call, Alexander's words sealed the moment. "You turned danger into destiny. Josie, our love is our fortress." Their dialogue, a poetic dance, convinced her that no threat could dim their light. The wedding, though marred, ended in triumph, the guests rallying around the couple with renewed admiration. Josephine's heart swelled, her journey a romantic saga, where love defied danger, paving the way for justice to unfold under the Miami stars. The glittering skyline of Miami rose like a constellation of ambition, its lights reflecting off the tranquil waters of Biscayne Bay, a mirror to the dreams Josephine Sanchez had woven into reality. She stood on the balcony of the Rivera Corporation's penthouse office, her ebony silhouette a beacon of triumph against the twilight, her heart intertwined with Alexander King's in a love that burned brighter than the city's glow. Their romance a harmonious blend of his old-world elegance and her vibrant resilience had carried them through trials of deceit, danger, and division, emerging as a testament to the power of unity across race and class. "You are my legacy, Josie," Alexander had whispered during their last sunset stroll along South Beach, his voice a silken vow that lingered like the scent of sea salt. "Together, we'll shape a future that echoes our love." The fallout from the wedding attack had rippled through Miami's elite circles, a tidal wave of justice that cleansed the Rivera Corporation of its shadows. Jenna Morales, exposed by Sarah Thompson's recorded confession, faced arrest under the neon glow of a downtown precinct. The evidence, a damning audio of Jenna's manipulative promises, was airtight, processed with the efficiency of Florida's legal system. Sarah, remorseful in her cell, penned a letter to Josephine. Her words, a fragile bridge toward atonement. "I was blind to your grace. Forgive me." Guided by the compassion that defined her, Josephine advocated for Sarah's rehabilitation and forgiveness, persuading prosecutors to consider leniency. This gesture echoed her belief in second chances rooted in her rise from LA's tough streets. Grandpa Carlos Rivera, his influence shattered by the boardroom purge, retreated to his Connecticut estate, his health faltering under the weight of regret. In a final call, he reached out to Amelia, his voice trembling. "I was wrong about Josephine. Tell her." His words trailed off a broken note in a fading symphony. Ever the matriarch, Amelia relayed the message to Josephine, who responded with quiet dignity. "Let him find peace, Mother. Our legacy lies forward." Her refined and persuasive words convinced Amelia to focus on rebuilding their mother-daughter bond, a cornerstone of the empire. Josephine's ascent to the helm of Rivera Corporation was announced in a press conference that captivated the nation. Standing before a crowd of journalists and art luminaries, her gown a vibrant tribute to her Black and Latina heritage, she declared, "This corporation will champion voices long silenced artists of color, dreamers from every corner of America." Her speech, a poetic manifesto, resonated like a mural painted across the heart of Miami, persuading the world of her vision. Forbes crowned her the first Black woman billionaire under 40. Her name, a beacon on their list, a symbol of the American dream reimagined. Alexander stood by her side, his pride a quiet fire that warmed her soul. Their love, a romantic odyssey of interracial harmony, had defied every obstacle: corporate conspiracies, familial prejudice, and physical threats. In private moments, they retreated to their beachfront villa, where his touch traced promises on her skin, his blue eyes locking with her brown ones in a dance of devotion. He murmured, "You've built an empire, my love, but you'll always be my home." Her laughter, a melody of joy, sealed their bond, convincing the stars themselves of their eternal unity. The legacy extended beyond wealth. Josephine and Alexander founded the Sanchez King Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering women of color in the arts and tech. Its launch was a gala that rivaled the city's vibrancy. James, fully recovered, joined as an ambassador, his loyalty a bridge repaired by Josephine's grace. He said, "You've shown me family, Josie," and his gratitude is a testament to her influence. The foundation's first grant went to a young Black artist from Detroit, whose work echoed Josephine's journey, a mural of hope painted against adversity. Watching her daughter rise, Amelia found redemption in their shared vision. "You've made my dreams whole," she told Josephine, their embrace a fusion of past and future. The Rivera Corporation, under Josephine's leadership, expanded its galleries to cities like Atlanta and Houston, each space a celebration of diversity, a canvas where love and art intertwined. The final twist came quietly, as Josephine and Alexander stood on their balcony, the city aglow below. She placed his hand on her abdomen, a smile blooming. Our legacy grows. Alex, a child, to carry our love forward. His joy radiant as the dawn sealed their journey, their interracial bond, a promise of a new generation. Our child will know a world shaped by your strength. He vowed his words, a poetic crescendo that convinced her their story would endure. As the Miami stars twinkled, Josephine reflected on her journey from LA's streets to Miami's heights, from intern to icon. Her love with Alexander, a romantic epic, had painted a legacy that defied division, a beacon for dreamers everywhere. The future stretched before them,